You didn't investigate, we just talked about the Rajapaksas for war crimes. Some people say you should be investigated. During the early part of the civil war, the Sri Lankan government faced an uprising, as you know, from the JVP, a leftist group whose current leader is now the president. There was this government commission of inquiry that found that in the late 80s you were, quote, a main architect of securing a housing complex that was used for the purposes of illegally detaining, torturing and killing individuals linked to the JVP. The government inquiry reported that you, quote, to say the least, knew it was being used for illegal detentions and torture while you were living and working there. You didn't know what was going on there? You weren't involved?
Where is the report?
Sorry?
Where is the report?
It's called the Bataland Commission report.
Where is the report? Read from the report.
I just did read from the report.
You didn't read from the report.
It is quite clear from the available material that insofar as the securing and allocation of the houses at the Batalanda houses are concerned, the main architects had been the then Minister of Industries, Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe.
I deny all those allegations, and I'm asking you to quote that commission report. This is supposed to...
I just quoted it to you.
No, so where is that commission? Where had that commission report been tabled?
There's a lot of evidence in this report.
No, but it's not what evidence. There has to be a commission report.
There is a report. It's called the Batalanda Commission report.
There is no commission report. The commission report has to be tabled out.
Okay, but the report still exists, whether it's tabled in Parliament or not.
It's not tabled in Parliament, it's not report.
Okay. In the report, a key witness who was your caretaker and, quote, trusted employee testified that you were leading meetings about the torture of detainees there. He died. He was 36 years old. Just days before you testified to the commission, Vincent Fernando was his name, and he testified that you wanted the suspects at Batalanda, quote, destroyed. That's what he testified.
He never gave evidence.
He did give evidence.
No report was tabled. There was nothing to be found against me. That was an army camp that was established in a former housing scheme. Any case, that was not tabled in Parliament. There was nothing to be found against me.
Vincent stated that what he understood under the circumstances was that Mr. Wickremesinghe wanted the suspects destroyed.
Then asked if the incident was displayed by... I was not in the government. I was in the opposition. I've been in the opposition for 10 years. Look, there was no report. So you are quoting if there's a report.
You were the Minister of Industry.
Look, but I'm telling you, there's no report.
I do have a report, but I've just literally read from it.
There's no report.
Let's bring in Francis Harrison, former BBC correspondent. Francis, what do you make of what you're hearing about Batalanda? What is the lack of accountability from Batalanda, the civil war? What does it mean in your view?
I'm flabbergasted. I mean, I have a copy of the report here. It says printed by the order of the government. I'm sorry, but there is a report.
It was not tabled in Parliament
report,
because
in English
they could not
and
stand by it.
මේ සාකච්ඡාවේදී පාස්කු ප්‍රහාරයේ විමර්ශන පිළිබඳවද හිටපු ජනාධිපති රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහතාගෙන් ප්‍රශ්න කෙරුණා.
I am dealing with what is called the Catholic Bishops' Conference. All this have been given to them. They have not made any other comment.
They're all against the entire Catholic Church saying you failed them.
No, this is what the Cardinal has said in regard to this inquiry, not anything else.
Yes, the head of the Conference of Bishops.
Who?
Bishop Harold Anthony Pereira.
Yes, so?
He says he wants it independent inquiry, and he supports Cardinal Malcolm Runjit, the head of the church, who says that you did not take requests seriously for an independent investigation, and what you commissioned, he says, quote, he told Al Jazeera, it's not worth even the paper it's written on, the commissions you did. This is the Catholic Church in your country. Damning stuff.
Can I tell you, Bishop Harold has been speaking to me all the time. If he has said this, I know that. We know the politics of the Catholic Church.
The politics of the Catholic Church. They lost hundreds of people in suicide attacks, and you're obsessed with it.
We know that. It's a question.
Is everything a game to you?
Sorry, you're going off your head at this rate. I appointed a committee which no one...
And quote, the committee was not worth the paper it was written on. That's the head of the Catholic Church of your country.
You know, all nonsense he's talking of. Justice Imran.
The head of the Catholic Church is talking nonsense.
Yes.
I just want to be clear. A massive terrorist attack happens on your watch as Prime Minister. Hundreds of Catholics die. The Catholic Church say you failed us and you dismiss them all as nonsense.
They have accepted the fact that I want to do, but they are saying is that the committee that I appointed, they are not willing to accept the findings of that committee.
Yes.
It doesn't say that.
They're also saying there were other forces behind the attacks and you're trying to protect those forces. That's a damning accusation from the head of the Catholic Church.
Head of the Catholic Church, I am not a Catholic to begin with. And I go with the majority of the people in the country.
53% of Sri Lankans say they believe local politicians were involved in the attacks.
I appointed a committee at the request of Parliament. No one in Parliament has objected. It's up for the Parliament to decide whether they accept the report or not.
Okay.
It's not for the Cardinal. It's not for the Parliament to decide.
Not for the
First News.